Hello everyone and welcome to my Week 6 Philadelphia Eagles prediction. So, this is the word on the street. Michael Vick has been holding the football all week long. So guess what happened last week? He fumbled. Turnovers again. They just came out of the woodworks again. No, you know why? Because we have a problem turning over the ball. They just don't come out the woodworks. We are a turnover team right now, and we have to fix that. Michael Vick had to carry the football all week. That's the way it is, right? Coach Reed said, "Yo, gotta start holding on to the ball, champ. What the hell's wrong with you?" 2 fumbles, one of them in the red zone, one of them on the 1-yard line, cost us the game last week. And Pittsburgh had to win. They lost this week to the Titans. I can't believe we lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We should have had it. I was actually worried about that game before we played it. I said it on my video last week that I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us, but we were in that game all game long, and we just gave it up. But hey, we took a couple away earlier in the season too by 1 point, 2-point victories against the Giants, Baltimore. So you give a little, you take a little, give a little kind of thing, So this week, before we go on to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions, 3-2 versus 1-3, Detroit Lions are looking for a victory coming off a bye. Let's go on last week's thing, talking points. The Pittsburgh Steelers, after one game not having a turnover against the Giants, the Eagles, Michael Vick coughed the ball 3 times. 2 were recovered by the Steelers. Vick has 11 turnovers, 5 fumbles lost, 6 interceptions in 5 games. He squandered 7 points in the first 10 minutes by turning over the ball on the 1-yard line, by getting drilled by Ryan Clark. And then the second fumble of the drive was the first one being saved by the late touch by Larry Foote. That one. He got his foot touched by Larry Foote. And then Deshaun Jackson also fumbled in the second quarter but recovered himself. This team is just plagued by giveaway. They love to give away the ball, and we have to fix it. Third down wasn't good last week too. You can't play a bad third down against a good third down team because they're going to stay on the field and we're not. And our defense is going to get tired. That's why they couldn't really hold them the last drive of the game. And sackless. The Eagles have not sacked the quarterback in 94 consecutive passing plays. So where's Jason Babin? Where's Trent Cole? And Mendenhall came back and killed us. Had like a total of like 133 yards or something. 36 yards he finished with, including a 24 clock sapping yards in the game-winning drive. So, that was huge, that screenplay in the last drive. So, what are you going to do? And just short, LaShawn McCoy was brilliant in the fourth quarter of his first game back in Heinz Field. He went to Pittsburgh University, and he just couldn't. He had 2 fourth down, 1 yard, like heart pounders. One was like a fourth effort. He got into the 1 yard, and the other one just drilled it in. So, kind of feel bad for him. They came back in the fourth quarter again, and they just couldn't hold on this time. That's happened sometimes. So, this team is in dire need of a bye before, like a dire need of a win before a bye, because we always win after the bye. So, the big play last week was that fumble. That fumble cost us the game, I think. And the play before that, Jeremy Maclin was called out on that play with Keenan Lewis, and then, he was on the 3-yard line, just stepped out. If he got the touchdown then, we would have been good. We would have been golden. But that's how things work out, and that's how football works out sometimes. So, what are you going to do? Eagles 3-2 versus Detroit Lions at the Linc, 1 p.m. on Fox. Let's look at this today. Let's try to figure this out. Right now, they were just on NFL Network, the Philadelphia Eagles, about the fumbles. But what we're watching for is covering Megatron, many happy returns. We need good returns. We need good field position. The Vick turnovers, the sack drought, and Macklin's turn. This is Macklin's turn for a big game. So look for Macklin to have a big game this week. Covering Megatron. One of every 4 Matthew Stafford throws has been in the direction of superstar Megatron Calvin Johnson. Johnson has been targeted 43 times. He has 29 catches for 423 yards. 3 weeks ago, Larry Fitzgerald blew up in our face, so he had one superstar receiver that killed us this year. Don't make it 2. The Eagles have gotten almost no production from the return game this season. Maybe because it's a rookie, Demarius Johnson running the ball back. Maybe Brandon Boykin's not good enough. Maybe that's what happens when you have 2 rookies returning the ball on your kick return team. Deshaun Jackson did say that he would return punts, but I don't think we should take him on that because it's great. He's dynamic, the punt returner. As we can see, the Giants game, that miracle in the Meadowlands Part 2. So maybe, but I think only in like dire needs we should do that. Vic's turnovers. The Eagles have 14 turnovers, the second most in the NFL. Michael Vick has 11 of them, including 4 in the red zone. Threw 6 interceptions in the first 2 games, and he hasn't thrown any in his last 104 attempts. But lost 2 fumbles in Week 3, lost to Cardinals, and he lost 2 more last week. 2 of those fumbles came on opponent's 1-yard line, and they both could change the game. Just saying. In a sack drought, the Eagles, who led the league in sacks last year, is just 7 sacks so far in 5 games. The coaching staff has credited them with 88 hurries, which is 30 more than they had in 5 games last year, but they're 27th in the league in sacks per pass play. Opponents frequently chipping the Eagles' ends out with their running backs and tight ends, and the quarterbacks are taking shorter drops and getting the ball out quicker, but 7 sacks is 7 sacks. Macklin's turn. Jeremy Maclin is overdue for a big game. That's all we have to say. Had 7 catches for 96 yards and a TD in Eagles Week 1 victory. Caught another TD against the Ravens number 2, but been really quiet since then. So he's overdue. He's overdue. And I'm looking for the Eagles really to come in to the Linc and just demolish the Lions. But let's be true. The Lions do have little weapons. They have an okay defense. They can possibly play a good game. They're 1-3. They're looking for a big win. And this is their game after their bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare for us. So, let's see how that turns out. You know what I mean? I'm looking for probably a 7-point victory, but you get my prediction in about 3 minutes. So, we come in. The Eagles have 6-game winning streak in this series, including a 56-21 rout the last visit to Philly on September 23rd, 2007. The Eagles led all-time series 16-12-2. I went to that game, the 56-21, where we were wearing our yellow Jackets jerseys, our Franklin yellow jackets. That was a pretty cool game. I loved it. I got pictures of it. 56-21 victory. I think Trent Cole had 7 sacks that game. It was a pretty cool game. But that was 5 years ago. Matthew Stafford is a lot better. I think Matthew Stafford was a rookie that year. I don't think he was even playing. And we got Michael Vick as our quarterback now. So this is completely 2 different teams. And the Eagles offense comes in at 11th, averaging 383 yards per game. Detroit Lions, on the other hand, have a really good offense, averaging 413 yards per game. They're 3rd. Quarterback, I think the quarterback goes to Matthew Stafford. He just, in the last year, he threw more touchdown passes in the last year than Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. But he's got just 3 in 4 games. So Stafford has one of the league's strongest arms, but because of his confidence in that arm, he occasionally makes some questionable decisions. So maybe our Eagles defense, being so much better this year, can make statements off them questionable decisions. Running back definitely goes to LaShawn McCoy. His season low 53 rushing yards last week, but I can see him picking it up. There's a big loss with Jason Peters, so let's see how he's doing with Detriot Spell. Keep this going. Let's keep running the ball. Come on, Andy. We did it a couple weeks ago against the Giants. Let's keep running this ball. Receiving goes to because of Megatron, he beats out Deshaun and Jeremy Maclin. I would usually say Deshaun and Jeremy Maclin because they're one of the best duels in the NFL, but Megatron is Megatron, and that's it. He's averaging 7 catches and 106 yards per game, so that's all you have to say. Brandon Pettigrew is one of the best all-around tight ends in the game too. But he's got a team-high 5 drops, and his blocking has been very consistent. So maybe Trent Cole and Jason Babbitt can take advantage of that. Offensive line goes to the Detroit Lions. That's what they say here. I say it's kind of even, you know what I mean, because our line's been coming along a little bit better. So I'll give that even. Defenses. These 2 defenses are pretty much tied. The Eagles are 8th. Detroit Lions are 9th overall. So defensive line, linebacker, and secondary, everything's even here. Defensive line's even. Linebacking core is even. Secondary goes to the Eagles. Special team goes to the Detroit Lions. So This game could go either way. That's what it looks like on paper, but the Eagles should run away with like a 10-point victory. That's what I'm thinking. So, who's hot, who's not? Brandon Graham. Graham has a team-high 5 quarterback pressures and just 11 pass rushing opportunities, and that was all against the Steelers. And Jaquan Bell had 6 catches for 72 yards in a loss against the Vikings before their bye. Who's not hot? Has no sacks in just 4 games and just 4 quarterback hurries in the Eagles' last 2 games. Mr. Jason Babin. And Matthew Stafford has thrown just 3 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions in 4 games. So don't let him get hot this week. I do not want him to get hot this week. Key matchups. Danny Watkins versus Ndaka Suh. Ndaka Suh is a very good pass rusher. He's physical, and they're going to have something turn. If they don't block him, they're going to have a long day. Michael Vick could have a bad game, but hopefully that won't happen. Big matchups. Nnamdi Asomugha. He's really just pissing me off lately. And Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie versus Calvin Johnson. They're both going to be, going off on him, switching off on him. So let's see which one does better in the first half. In the second half, we'll find out. Hopefully, the first half they limit the damage. In the second half, they can shut them down. Hopefully, LaShawn McCoy versus Steven Tulka. McCoy's cutback skills are posed a major problem to Steven Tulka and the rest of the front 7. So hopefully, the advantage goes to the Eagles. A 30-minute fix. We need to fix these turnovers. We don't fix these turnovers, we're not going to make damage like we want to this season, because it's just not going to happen. By you turning over the ball, you're not going to win against good teams, especially in the playoffs. Michael Vick has 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1,300 yards, 1,321. McCoy almost has come into 100 attempts. He's almost got close to 500 yards. He got 437, 1 touchdown. A lot less touchdowns than he had last year, but he's running the ball well right now. And Deshaun Jackson's got almost close to 400 yards on 24 receptions. Brent Selleck's got close to 330 yards, 1 touchdown with 21 receptions. And LaShawn McCoy is in third. Jason Avant and Macklin hasn't said anything since week 2. Hasn't done anything since week 2. So the Eagles are 4-point favorites. Look up fumbleitis in the dictionary, and you see a picture of Michael Vick falling off the page. Until he leads the league in category other than lost fumbles, he's going to be a tough liability for the Birds. Vick 8 fumbles and 3 more than any other player that has lost 5 fumbles top the NFL. As we all watch in horror, he put the ball on the ground 3 times Sunday against a 16-14 loss against the Steelers. And that loss at the Steelers' 1-yard line was the epic blow to the gut. Andy Reid said that Vick will get it right eventually. But when is eventually? This week? After the bye? When? Christmas? Very discouraging for defense has given up less than 20 points per game, 19.8. And Detroit coming off a bye, you can expect a rock-solid game from Matthew Stafford and company, which is why Double B is calling for another close 1-point home victory. The big green fumbling machine. So, the consensus saying the Eagles, because Eagles, Detroit Lions, you automatically think the Eagles would win. But this game could end in a close one, or it could be a 10-point victory. It could go either way. I'm going to go with, because people have been telling me, the scores have been pretty high, but the defenses, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to guess 27-17 Eagles. That's my prediction, 27-17 Eagles. I think it's going to be a 10-point victory. I think we cruise, maybe a rough first quarter, but that's it. Second, third, fourth quarter, we should be able to. The linc, we've been unbeaten at the linc for 7 games. Truthfully, 7 regular season games and 9 games home, including the preseason. Preseason don't count though, but 7 games. This is pretty good. It's a nice little streak going, and we have to keep this home streak going, because if you win at home, you protect your house, and that's the way you do it. That's it. And 27-17, that's going to be my prediction. Freaking turnovers, man, are killing me. And like this, I'm smoking 2 cigarettes now, per freaking video, because I'm freaking out, because these fumbles have been just driving me nuts. And I know they're driving you nuts, Eagles Nation. So, hey, let's pray for a 4-2 going into the bye, and then we play. Hopefully the Falcons lose this week, but hey, if the Falcons don't lose this week or next week, we'll be playing the undefeated Falcons in Philadelphia at 4-2. So let's hopefully 4-2 Eagles Lions, 1 p.m. on Fox, 27-17, my prediction. Don't watch the game because you got my prediction already, baby. Eagles! Eagles! Woo! And it's freezing outside. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow. 70 degrees at the link. 27-17, guys. Eagles, baby. 4-2. Peace.